funky. Hip hop.
Welcome to KERRIISMS Speaks. I'm your host, KERRIISMS, aka Kerri Olivia, a writer, life coach, and digital creator at KERRIISMS.co. Every week, I share commentary and interviews on the adventures of life from a millennial's point of view. Some adventures may be personal, some may be professional. Either way, I hope you can stay tuned and stay true. Let's go. Hey guys, it's your girl KERRIISMS, aka Kerri Olivia, and I'm back. I'm so excited. It took me a whole year, but I'm excited to be back. For those who are listening, I am this is my second time in the year. I think that I am uploading a YouTube video, and I'm excited to relaunch my podcast as well. So it's been a long time coming. It's been something that I wanted to do, and I'm so excited to do that. I'm so excited to share the conversations that I've been having with some amazing people. I wanted to rename the podcast Sparks Unlocked, and I did a few polls on Instagram and Twitter, but many of the listeners who already follow KERRIISMS Speaks wanted it to be KERRIISMS Speaks, so I present to you the relaunch of KERRIISMS Speaks. I wanted to bring on a lot of people who were really taking care of themselves in terms of self-love and self-care and wellness, and really incorporating that into whatever aspect of their life that they may be doing that. So the first guest that I have is Tia R. Scott. Tia Renee Scott, also known as Tia the Writer, is a freelance writer who specializes in bios and mission statements for businesses and individuals. In her spare time, she also blogs about her own personal account of hip hop and Flint music culture. Her work has been published in several online publications, including Flintside, The Goods Media, and her own music platform, The Dope Show. She hails from Flint, Michigan, and resides in Arizona with her daughter and trusty MacBook. I really enjoyed the conversation, and I wanted to let you guys in on that conversation. So welcome to KERRIISMS Speaks. I'm excited to talk to you because writing is something that I'm really interested in as well. Mm-hmm. And when I was younger, I've always wanted to be a writer, but it's something that I never was able to break into. So I definitely wanted to talk to someone who is doing the damn thing and really going about it and, you know, making a way for herself with the written word, which I really appreciate and admire. So I just wanted to talk to you on that and see what your journey has been like and to learn more from you.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right.
Yeah. How did you become a freelance writer?
I had been writing my whole life, honestly. I have journals like from the 5th grade, like still to this day. I think, how did I become a freelance writer? I think, I was dating this guy way back in the day. And he lived in New York, and he pretty much was like, you write for your blog. I'd started a blog called Diary of a Weird Black Girl.
Oh, okay.
In like 05, 06. And so I started dating him in like 08. And he was like, you should like write professionally. You should write for money. This was like back in the MySpace days. And I'm like, I'm just on the internet having fun, man. I don't want to write for people. And he took me to New York and just introducing me to people that were like on the New York Times bestsellers list. They have books. They, write for like the Times. And I was like, okay.
All right.
And yeah. And so just kind of sitting in on dinners and like just meeting people in like bars, like friends of his, I just kind of was like, you know what, when I get back to Flint, I'm going to start writing. I'm just going to start putting myself out there. And I started asking people that they needed any bios written. That's what I started with. And I started getting paid, and I was like, And my mom bought me a book, like Everything on Freelance Writing. And I read that pretty much front to back. And I was like, wow, this is a really big writing world. Like, it's so many things that you can write about, so many people you can write for. And so I really just dove into that, honestly. just pair that with my passion for writing. I was doing it for free anyway.
Mhm.
And so
Mhm.
learning how to really put myself out there and catch clients and what kind of writing I'm good at, because you can be a great storyteller, but like a terrible marketing writer, like you
Okay.
can't sell anything for nothing, but you can tell an immaculate story.
Mhm.
So that's how I got into it, though, honestly, just someone else kind of putting it to me like, hey, you're good. You should get money from this.
That's interesting that you said that. What's the difference to you between someone who's writing for marketing or also doing both and someone who's just telling a story?
Um, the difference between that is just like they know their fields, they know their
Mhm.
craft, they know what the good elements are and the bad elements. It's like with me, I know what it takes to write a killer bio. I know what it takes to, write an effective press release. But I don't know how to put a story together. I don't know about the characters. I don't know
Mhm.
about how do you develop a setting. I don't know.
Okay.
It's really just about, it's crazy because writing is hard, but the hardest part is learning the business.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Yeah, because I can see that because writing is the foundation. So once you have that, it's pretty easy to start on the journey to getting there and then learning how to put yourself out there and letting the rest of the world know what you do and what you're capable of. So I can definitely see that. What kind of writing do you do and do you have a specific niche?
Yes. I at the moment I write bios for businesses and individuals that just, need a bio for maybe their maybe personal use, professional use.
Mhm.
I write press releases for music artists, specifically rappers and sing like R&B singers. I help them pretty much try to get placements on like blogs and help them get interviews with people.
Mhm.
Um, so I would say my niche is pretty much it's kind of like storytelling, but more professionally. Trying-
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. What is your process? Do you have a specific process, or if not, a general one for getting your writing done from start to finish?
Let's see. Yes, my main process that I do when I'm putting pretty much anything together is I gather as much information as possible about the
Mhm.
subject person, and I've just put it all in like a Google Doc. So I start chipping away at the parts that are kind of unnecessary. Like I don't need to put your whole birthday in a bio. I don't start kind of deleting those until it starts to kind of tell a story on its own. It's pretty much like I feel like I'm more of a better editor than a writer. It's
Ah,
weird.
yeah, okay.
But yeah, I pretty much just chip away and kind of remove the fat until everything that I have that's important starts to make sense. Like, and then I just start putting it together and put my own spin on it.
Yeah. That's interesting, I like that because you have the meat of the story, and then you kinda condense it, and then you put more, and then you fill it in with what you actually wanna say or the story that you wanna tell. I like the concept of the outline too, because that definitely helps. It's kind of like the building blocks of the story in itself.
Hmm.
So once you have that, you're on your way.
And I just want to add to that. It's something that I learned a long time ago. I think from Stephen King, actually,
Mhm.
as I read a lot of his books, as well as the book that he has about writing. Every sentence should just make sense. It should say something. You should be
Yeah.
able to pick out a sentence from anything, and even without context, you like this makes sense.
When you say that, do you mean it can start a conversation or it can make you think?
It's just powerful on its own. It's just a good sentence. I use that for my bios. Like I don't want it to be any fluff. I don't want it to be, this person is great.
Right. Okay.
Period.
Yeah. Definitely using those. I know when I was in school, I had they when they tell you to like MLA or Chicago style, don't
Mhm.
use certain words for filler. Like
Yeah,
when you're writing, definitely use words that pack the punch, that gets your meaning across. So
yeah,
instead of saying like in addition to, you have to like flesh out what you mean by when you say in addition to. So it's
yeah.
like he also stepped over because in addition is kind of like a filler word, and you want to tell a story. What's your favorite thing about being a freelance writer? And also, how long have you been doing it?
At this point, 14 years.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah. 14 years. It's been a while. The main thing I love about it is the freedom. I can wake up and just write. I can write all day if I want. I can write all night. That's just what it is. It's the freedom of it and the trust. That's one of those like it's one of those small things that I just love. And it's not really even a big part of my process or my career, but it's just like a personal thing that I love that people trust me enough to tell their story. And I love that. I love that about being a writer.
That's really powerful. Do you look at it in terms of like, you're leaving your essence, a part of you with that person or a part of you with that story? And
Yeah.
also in terms of networking, or is it for both?
For it's both, that person that's going to just read it. It's a lot more people than you realize is going to read
Right,
your work. And so I
right,
try to give it 100%. And plus, if it's great, they're going to pass it along to other people like, hey, this girl's a great writer.
right. How were you able to build your clientele?
Um, at this point, it's very unorthodox in
Hmm.
2020. I've been
Hmm.
taking Venmo payments,
Hmm.
Cash App payments, but the way that I really am supposed to be doing it is through invoice. I mainly use PayPal because they have like an awesome invoice system set up. You
Yeah.
just put your logo in, all of your information. Um, you can, ask for a tip, whenever you
Okay.
get paid.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
When it's published, is that how you get more exposure, or how do you get more people to write about?
Um, I have a website. I have a freelance website set up that has all the writing samples and my experience,
Mhm.
um, which that brings in some people. But honestly, I feel like word of mouth is just like it's here to stay. It's always
It's
worked.
really powerful. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
like word of mouth through other clients that I've written for. Sometimes I'll take the leap and like just cold email someone, like just send
Okay.
someone I've never met them, like, hey, see that you have like a new record label. Does your artist need bios? Just pull them in like that.
That's cool. I really like that. Cold emails are really good because you never know who you're going, because it's like it's one way or the other. You never know if that's going to be an opportunity that turns into something. And that's been the
Mhm.
case. Has that been the case for you?
Yes, I've
Mm.
sent off cold emails and they don't respond to like 6 months later,
Yeah.
but they're like, can you write a bio for like 10 people? What's your rate? And I'm like,
Oh wow. Okay.
okay.
Yeah.
So
Well, thank
yeah.
you. Thank you very much.
Mhm.
And I know how you get from start to finish with your work. What are some self-care practices that help you along in your writing process?
Um, Candles. I have to
Mm.
light candles. I have to have incense, black cherry.
Ooh, okay.
Um, I try to make sure I'm in a good space to write. I feel like I write the best when I'm comfortable and also when I'm under pressure. It's weird.
Okay. Okay.
Like if I have the candles going, the incense, like some instrumentals, because I can't listen to music with words while I write. It
Mm.
messes with me.
Mhm.
Um, I write like that, but then sometimes I don't write at all like that. Sometimes I really just want to enjoy the atmosphere, so I put the computer away.
Okay.
If I have a deadline that's coming up, I'll probably wait till like the
The last I can
second
relate
to
to that.
last day.
Yep. Because it's something about this like this adrenaline rush that like
Yes,
it just taps in, and then you're just like, yeah.
right. And you're writing
I guess
words you
so.
don't even use. You're like, where is this coming from?
Right, right,
Banging
right. And you're just
away.
like, that Jay-Z song, "Fuck me, I got it." So
Right. You just
that's
start
the
feeling yourself. You're like, let's
that's the mood. It's
go.
like, "Oh, yeah, okay, I got it, alright." Yeah, it definitely depends on the day for sure, and the mood that you're in. Would you say that you're more of a routine person, or just go day by day when it comes to your writing process?
It's half and half. I have
Mhm.
weeks where I am on total routine. I am on
Mm.
total schedule, hour by hour.
Mm.
And I love when I'm in that mode. But then it's like other weeks where I'm like, I am burnt out. I don't
Right.
know if it's writer's block. I don't know if I have to chill and maybe meditate. I'm just all over the place. I'm writing it. I'm taking a nap and I'm waking up and getting right to the writing.
Yeah. Afternoon naps are the truth. I take them. Those like those power naps. You need
Yes.
those.
You need
They're
them.
so important. I'm like, honestly, they give me the push that I need to continue on for the evening. Sometimes they haven't always been because sometimes I'll just sleep through depending on how tired I am. But there
Mhm.
more times than often, those afternoon naps are just something about them. Something
I
about them
want us
for
to
sure.
normalize Black women taking naps in
Oh my gosh.
2021.
Please say that again, please.
Let's
Yes.
normalize Black women taking naps
Yes.
in 2021.
Yes, I love that. I don't want to generalize it, but I know I can speak from my experience as a Black woman myself. Rest is not something that is ingrained, is something that is more learned. I
Mhm.
think always being on top of stuff, always making sure that you've got it, or making sure that you're on top of things, making sure that things are done. That's more me. And thinking
Mhm.
about rest is like, no, 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 I'll rest when I'm burnt out. And I've been really, I don't want to say, no, I haven't, I've been really adamant, like really been taking the time and determined to rest. That's been one of like the biggest things for me for self-care. It's been really instrumental in me getting stuff out. And so I definitely agree. Definitely
Yeah.
agree with that. When did you start your self-care journey?
Um, Honestly, it's fairly new. I didn't start actually getting into self-care until I hit my 30s.
You're
So,
what?
yeah, I'm 38 now, girl. Getting up there.
Wait, sorry, sorry, wait, hold on. I, for those who are listening, you have to. She, can you please say that again?
38 years old. I was born in
That's
1982.
you are wow. Well, yeah, black don't crack. I'm
You know?
she's a living example for those who are listening to the podcast right now. I thought you were in like at least 25.
Girl,
Yeah.
no. Thank you for that,
Oh,
though.
I'm kind of shocked by that, but like you wear well, very well.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, that's a shocker for people, which I don't know why. I feel like I look, my age. Well, not really, because my mom was 38. She looked a smooth 38.
Yeah,
Like,
I thought you were
yeah, she
25.
oh, thank you. Yeah, that's one shocker for people. And then the other one is that my daughter is she'll be 20 in February.
Oh
And so,
wow.
yeah, a lot of people don't know that I have a
Yeah.
super
Thank you
grown
for
child.
sharing that with me. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for sharing that.
Yeah, I didn't get into self-care until my 30s because I felt myself kind of changing. I felt that I needed to take care of myself. It was like my spirit was telling me like, "Hey,
Mhm.
it's time to start meditating. It's
Mhm.
time to start praying regularly. Hey, crack that Bible open. We're not in our 20s no more." I'm glad social media wasn't popping as much as it is
Yeah. Yeah.
back
Yeah.
then. But
I can attest to that as well. My 20s were a hot mess.
oh yeah. You're in your 30s?
I just turned 30 this year.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Welcome to the club,
I
girl.
know.
Okay,
Thank you. I'm so
someone look
happy.
25. You look
Honestly,
18.
being in my 30s is so much more amazing than my 20s. Like I didn't know anything. And I felt the thing about being in your 20s, well, if I can only speak from my experience. You can tell me if you can relate. Like
Mhm.
you don't know anything, but you feel like you know everything.
Ooh, yes.
And then you start learning new stuff. So
Mhm.
yeah.
Yep. My mentor is in her 40s and she told me, she was like, your 30s is pretty much going to be, you're going to learn yourself, but you're not really going to know yourself until you're
Mm.
40. And
Oh
I said,
wow.
okay,
Right.
okay.
Right. I
So
can
that's something,
definitely see that. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
because I don't know if you've gotten to that yet of you just learning more about yourself. I know you just
Right.
turned 30, but
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
gonna be a lot of that.
It happened to me around I wanna say the last half of 29, just like
Mhm.
the shit hit the fan. And I had to like, cause I think for me, I felt that I knew you're under the impression that you know everything when you really don't. And then the more that you are under that impression or that mindset, you're kind of disconnected from yourself. And that this year from 29 to 30 has just been trying to put the pieces, trying to reconnect with myself
Yes.
and trying to understand all the different parts of who I am and to show love to all of those parts as well. And so
Mhm.
what has your experience been similar or different
Yes.
or
It sounds like you're me at 29 turning
yeah,
30. That's how
yeah,
I was. Because I feel like in your 20s, you live for so many people. You don't
yes.
even understand how many people you live for in your
Woo!
20s.
That was
Um,
a word right there, because yes, I can definitely
yeah.
relate to that one. Yeah.
Yeah, and I see my daughter trying to do that now,
Mm,
and I tell her all the time, "Do not be in a hurry to please people, not even me. Like, I'm already proud of you. Don't
mhm.
try to jump through hurdles to get a guy or to, keep a friend you shouldn't keep or
Right,
to impress people." Like, I'm trying to tell her that now so she won't have such a hectic 20s
right,
experience.
right.
Um, so yeah, your 30s, you turn inward, I feel. Like you turn
Yes,
inward and you
yes,
start looking at how great you are, honestly. Like
yeah.
um, I remember I look at pictures back in the day like, yo, I was dope in my 20s. I was
Mhm,
great, but I didn't
mhm.
feel that way. And
No,
so,
no, I definitely can relate to that as well. I think it was just working with what I knew at the time. I think in my 20s, it was a lot of seeking external validation, filling
Mhm,
voids with people and things, and not knowing
mhm,
that I was doing that, being very unaware of that. And then 29 was when the year that 2019, because I was 29 last year, 2019 was my personal 2020. The shit hit the fan, like it was intense, and you have to face yourself, and so you have to face the good parts of yourself and
mhm,
also the not so good parts of yourself, and show love to the not so good parts of yourself, so
mhm.
you can start to do that with the people that you see.
You get a different perspective, honestly. Like throughout my 20s, I had a very hectic relationship with my mom.
Mm,
Um, and my 30s helped me understand that she's just a woman, you
yes,
know?
yes.
She's just a woman trying to understand life, herself, her kids, and everything. And
Mhm.
it just made everybody honestly more human to me.
Right, right.
Yeah, like people would do me wrong in my 20s, and you would think I thought they were sent straight from the devil,
Yes.
that they don't have any
Oh
good
my god,
parts of them at all. And it's
I
like,
can't.
no, they
Like the cutoff game was strong.
it's
It
strong. I
was
still don't talk to people from my 20s. I'm like, why would I do that? Everything is really personal in your 20s. You feel offended a
strong.
lot. But your 30s actually, it helps you see, like I said, it helps you see the human parts of people. And plus, honestly, and this is just what I'm gonna, my advice to you in your
Oh,
20s is
mhm.
don't take anything personal because a
Yeah.
lot of times, even when people directly hurt you, that's something they're dealing with. And, that's something they
Yep.
have to tackle. You could definitely remove yourself from
Yes.
them,
Yeah.
in their lives. But a lot of times it's not her towards you, it's
Yes.
in them. They're just pretty much projecting.
You're
So
definitely caught in the crossfire of people hurting.
definitely.
So that's an amazing tip. Try not to take it too personally, because it's a cliche thing, but it really does apply. Hurt people, and
Definitely.
we're all hurting in our own ways and still learning stuff. And everyone
Mhm.
has different life experience. So we
Mhm.
have to be as gentle, also learning to be gentle with yourself,
Mhm.
because
Mhm.
we take things personally because we are not we're not kind to ourselves, so it's hard for us to be kind to other people.
Yes.
So yeah, I really can relate, and I'm open to learning and growing. So yeah,
Oh, get
yeah.
you some older people, girl. Like, if you want to talk further, like, my
Yes,
line is
yes,
open.
yeah.
Cause I was lost before I like found my mentor and a lot of like women
Hmm,
that were older than me to just kind of
hmm,
give me that game.
yeah. How would you describe your 20s in one word, and how would you describe your 30s so far in one word?
My 20s, in one word, confused. I was
Mm,
confused all
mm.
throughout my 20s. One word for my 30s, enlightened.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Yeah, yeah. That's a beautiful way to look at it, because a lot of things that because a lot of stuff is in the dark in your 20s and you're fumbling around, so you don't
Yeah.
really know. like you're doing things out, you're on autopilot, so you're just reacting to your environment. So you don't
Definitely.
really know what's happening. What is your favorite self-care practice and why?
My favorite. Um,
Or it could be a couple of things
let's
or
see.
more.
My favorite self-care act is honestly, this is gonna sound really ridiculous, but getting out of the shower and doing crossword puzzles.
Ooh.
It's just one of those things. I don't know. It just makes me feel really good. It
Mhm.
centers me. Um, I'm not writing because a lot of people think that I journal a lot because I'm a writer, and it's like I
Yeah.
kind of try to reserve my writing for professional use, or if
Mhm.
it's just on my heart to write. I like doing stuff with words, just not
Mhm.
writing a lot when it comes to self care. So crossword puzzles make me feel amazing,
Yeah.
and that's my favorite part of self care.
Nice. Do you do one every day or every as often as
Um,
you get a chance to?
as often as I get a chance. I'm
Mm,
looking at one right now. Like,
yeah.
like it's always near me. So yeah.
Yeah, that's so cool. I like that. What advice would you have for anyone who is an aspiring freelance writer or who wants to get into the business?
Um, I would say at first I would ask why do you want to do this because it can get a little tedious, so it can get a
Yeah.
little difficult. My advice would be to do as much research on the field that you're going in.
Mm,
Decide what kind of writing that you're comfortable doing because I know people who they are great writers, but it takes a lot to get that out of them.
mhm.
So they're not writers. They're great
Yeah.
writers, but they're not going into that field. They're like, nah, I'm good on that.
Yeah.
So write about things that you're comfortable with and then, match that to the field that it's in. Learn as much about that field as possible. It's not really about growing as a writer because you can easily go take a workshop or, go to, take a course to
Yeah.
become a writer, but learn more about that business because that's where your money's going to come from.
Mhm.
Learn about the field as much as you can, and that across the board. That's for a musician. That's for yeah. I'm just going to say for a musician. Like if you
Yeah.
are a rapper,
Yeah.
you want to know the language of the business. You want to know like certain terms.
Mhm.
It's like they say in the music business, like talent is 10%.
Right.
um Actual like professionalism and like work ethic, that's the
Yeah.
90%.
Yeah.
So you're gonna learn, like if someone asks you what your
Mhm.
not the market rate, someone asks you what your rate is, like they
Yeah.
can pay you market rate or do you have a specific rate? If you're like, what's market rate? Hey, you need to go do some research.
Yeah.
How much do you usually charge for this in the market?
Right.
Okay. Um, just don't get caught blindsided. Don't,
Mhm.
learn as much as you can.
I really like that. That's amazing. What's the best piece of advice you've ever received?
Best piece of advice that I've ever received. I would say it is mm, be patient.
Ooh.
That's the best thing that someone ever told me. Just practice patience.
Yeah.
Um, because you're gonna need it with literally everything, every
Mhm.
part of your life. You're going
Mhm.
to be patient. So yeah,
That's something I could work on. I don't wanna lock myself into it, but I definitely be working on patience.
yeah,
'Cause
me too. That's all of us. It's all of us. I think that's a human thing.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
are impatient.
Right.
Practice patience. Be mindful and aware. I just want to bring up something. I remember Oprah used to do like her Sunday service. I think that's what it's called. Sunday
Is it the Super Soul Sunday?
Super Soul Sunday. I'm thinking
Yeah.
about Kanye talking about some Sunday service.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, she did that and she had a Deepak, is it Chopra or
Chopra.
Chopra? Yeah, she had
Yeah.
Deepak Chopra. And she asked him what was the most important time of his life.
Mhm.
And he said, this moment right now with you. And she said, and he was like, look, I'm not gassing you because you're Oprah. He's like,
Mhm.
if you can be anybody. But the fact that I'm spending this moment right now with my life with you, that is the most important time of my life.
Yeah.
And that just blew me away. So,
Right. Yeah.
wow, like, so right now, this is the most important time of my
Yeah.
life.
Right.
This moment with you. And
Oh,
I don't know
thanks.
why I just brought that up, but it was just on my
I like
heart to
that.
say.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because this present moment is definitely going to determine the moments that may come after, and all we can hold on to is right now, and everything else, the past is a memory, the
mhm,
future is just our imagination, all we have is right now.
right.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah. What does self-love mean to you, and what does self-care mean to you?
Self-love and self-care is I feel like it's just that. It's really loving yourself, caring for yourself. It's saddening that a lot of us have never really experienced that, or we won't ever experience that until like
Yeah.
a certain time. Um, 'Cause I feel like at some point we're all called to do it. You can ignore it if you want, but
Mhm.
like I said,
Mhm.
earlier, with my 30s, it felt like my spirit was just telling me to take better care of myself. So self love and self care is just that. It's really loving on yourself because you need that. You
Mhm.
need it. We come into this world alone. We're born. We were in our mother's bellies by ourselves, unless we're
Yeah.
twins, whatever. But we were born. We're all like kind of on our own agenda. We're all living our own personal experiences. It's best to love yourself the most, honestly.
Mhm.
Not in a
Mhm.
selfish way, but
Right, not over others, but
right,
first. Do it for your own peace of mind and your own peace, not
mhm,
because you wanna screw somebody over, you
exactly.
know? Because then that's not coming from a genuine place.
Mhm,
It's coming from a place of fear.
exactly. And that
Right.
and fear, apparently, what I'm learning lately is kind of like the opposite of love. It's
Yeah.
very low vibrational energy. You don't want that.
Mhm. Mhm.
So yeah, that's what
Yeah, learning how to be rooted in love over fear is harder. It's
mm.
harder to be rooted in love than to be rooted in fear because we've been conditioned to be rooted in fear. Where can our listeners find you?
I'm on them internet, girl. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram. As just Tia the writer, Tia underscore the underscore writer.
Mhm.
I'm mostly on Twitter talking my stuff.
Mhm.
But I
Mhm.
post, I post daily to Instagram too.
Yeah.
Find me on there. Oh, and also if you want to check out any of my writing services,
Mhm.
TiaTheWriter.com. Hey, that's open. You can check out my writing samples, my rates,
Mhm.
everything is on the website.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much for being a guest on Carries and Speaks.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, Tia, for taking the time to talk with me on Carries and Speaks about pursuing your dreams and going for it and making sure that you use self care and self love as a part of your life to help to get you through. That is so important, especially in this time, making sure that we are our best selves so we can show up in any area of our lives. If you are looking to connect with Tia, you can connect with her at tiathewriter.com. You can find her on Instagram and Twitter, Tia underscore the writer. You can also find her on YouTube as Tia the writer. So many places to find her. So make sure that you follow her and let her know that you found out about her from the KERRIISMS Speaks podcast. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll see you next week. Thank you all for tuning in. I am truly grateful for every single one of you. Please remember to subscribe to this podcast, rate it, and leave a review. Any feedback you have would be greatly appreciated. You can also contact me directly at KERRIISMS.co. That's KERRIISMS.co. This has been your KERRIISMS coming to you live, reminding you to stay tuned and to stay true, my beautiful crew. Over and out.